Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. So last time around, we stopped with this question where we were solving this particular question, and we have determined the um, objective function and constraint functions. Let's carry it forward and prepare and solve the question. Yes. Can somebody tell me what was the next step that we had to do from this one? Once we have the objective function and constraint functions in hand, what is the next step?
We need to draw the diagram.
Yes. So the next step would be to draw the diagram. In order to draw the diagram, you need the coordinates. In order to have the coordinates, you have to have linear functions, linear equations in place of those constraint functions. So how to convert the constraint functions to linear equations? Anybody remembers?
Replace the greater than equal to by equal to.
Exactly. So just remove the greater than equal to or less than equal to from every place. Yes. And it becomes equal to now. So 1 second. Awesome. So once we do that, then we need to find out the coordinates. How do we find the coordinates? Anybody has any idea how to find the coordinates?
We have to like take like x1 and x2. Then for each x1 and x2, we have to write the coordinates like.
Perfect.
If
now how
x1
do we?
is 6.
Okay, I have done that. X1 and x2 I have written now. So for each of these equations, we'll have at least 2 coordinates so that we can draw the line. In the first
6
one,
and 0. 6
sorry?
and 0. 6 and 0.
6 and 0. So for x1, you are saying 6?
No. Yes, x1 is 6 and x2 will be 0.
X2
Means,
will
not
be
x2,
0.
in the same row. Column K. Sorry.
Okay.
K67 will be 0.
No, let's go like this. Okay, which one you are saying 0, x1 or x2?
X1 is 6 here, column J67.
Okay, no, column anything is fine. So you are saying for one scenario, you are taking x2 as 0, right? That's what you're saying?
Correct.
If you take x2 0, put the 0 value in that equation, find out the x1 value. In place of x2, put 0 and find the x1 value. How much it is?
It's 6, right?
Are you sure? Yes, it's 2 actually. Yeah. That's why I wanted to go step by step only. Okay, it's actually 2. Did you do it, Samay? So when you put 0, this one, second one becomes 0. 2 into 0 is equal to 0. Now it becomes 6x1 is equal to 12. So x1 becomes 12 divided by 6, not minus 6. Please don't do that. Simple mistakes. So 12 divided by 6. So that becomes 2, right? Yes, no?
Yeah, that's correct.
Perfect. Let's take x1 also 0. x2 value becomes, anybody?
6.
Perfect. x2 becomes 6. Similarly, in the second equation, I'm taking x1 as 0. x2 becomes?
So it should be always division, right? The right hand side, whatever number it is there. So we have to just divide.
No, Sami. No, please don't think it like that. It's simple mathematics. It's solving an equation. Please, let me do it. Okay, I'm actually skipping those steps, assuming that you would do it. Let me do this.
I recall it. The sum should be equal to 12. Either should be like
when x1 is equal to 0, then the equation becomes 6 multiplied by 0 plus 2x2, right? Is equal to 12. Yes. Now it becomes 0 plus 2x2 is equal to 12. I'm skipping all this step in solving that. So don't get confused. If you are, then we'll discuss in detail. So now it becomes x2 is equal to 12 divided by 2. Yes. Is equal to 6.
I recall it.
Perfect. So it not necessarily always will be division. It depends on the equation. Okay. So
Correct.
solve the equation every time. Okay. I'm keeping it just in case it will be.
So
needed
to
for
solve the equation, we have to start with 0 first. Like
Ha,
either
always,
substitute 0.
my recommendation is always take one variable 0, then solve the other variable. Then
Right.
for other two coordinates, take other variable as 0 and solve the equation, because that becomes very easy. Once the one variable becomes 0, the calculation is not complicated anymore. Now, if you take
Right.
x1 as 1.5, obviously you can calculate coordinates, but why to take decimals and all? It makes calculation so odd, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So now in the second equation, if we take x1 value as 0, the x2 value becomes
Okay.
4.
Um,
4.
yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
4 is absolutely correct. If we take x2 value as 0, x1 becomes
4.
also 4.
4.
Perfect. Also 4. Similarly, here, can you tell me the x2 value?
It's 6.
2 is the correct answer. Sami, please calculate.
Yeah,
Did you get 2?
correct.
Yes.
Yep.
If we take
24.
0 x2 value, then x1 becomes
6.
6. Sami, did you get it?
Yeah, 24 divided
Awesome.
by 4.
Awesome. Now what we will do is we will plot the whole thing in a graph. Small graph we will have, and we will plot it there. Now, what we will do is, let me just quickly have a simple graph, and we will go from there. Okay. All right. Now, the lines that we have is somewhere around here. So we have 2, 6, 4. Let me take 1, 2, 3, 4 like that only. Okay. Let me change the color so that I can see it clearly.
I think you can use Excel sheet only.
Sorry?
You can use Excel sheet only, right? It will be faster.
In Paint, actually, so in Excel sheet, what happens is it becomes very complicated, and our analysis cannot be done. Here, I can play around with the thing, right? If I open the, I mean, create those lines through the Excel sheet, no? After that, I cannot write down the equations on it. I told you that is very important. Always follow that approach. I cannot, what do you call it? Find out the pointers. I cannot name the pointers. So that becomes very difficult. Line and all I can draw, right? That's where I'm facing problem in the Excel sheet. That's why I'm not approaching here. So it's okay. So so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll go like that. So let's go and find for each coordinates. Okay. Here is the equation. Here is the coordinate. X1 is 0 and X2 is 6. So we have 0 here, x1. So let me write down that x1. Color is very weird. Okay, I'll take blue. So this one is x1. Also,
you have to change that.
This is x1 and this is x2. Okay, and we have 0 here. So now let's find out 0 and 6. 0 is x1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the point that I'm getting, this number. 2 and 0. X1, 2. 1, 2. This place. 0, 1, 2. This becomes the thing. Now what I'll do is I'll just join these two. Yes. Free line. And similarly, going for x1, 0 and x2, 4. x1 is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the point. Yes. And 4 and 0 in x1, 1, 2, 3, 4. x1 is 0 here. Sorry, x2 is 0. So I'll join these points. That's gone. Similarly, for the last one, 4x1 plus 12x2 is equal to 24. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. This place. If you are finding it difficult in finding the coordinates, please let me know. We can also bring down the steps. Now x1 is 6 and x2 is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the place. Any doubts? Yes, no?
No, Dilip.
Okay,
One is
awesome.
starting point, one is end point. Column J is starting point and column K is end point.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Now what I'll do is I will put in small text here. I'll say 6x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 12. This is too much. Okay. So this one is 6x1 plus 2x2 plus 12. Next we have second one is, I would say, my bad. Which one was the second one? Yeah, this one. Yes, this one. I would rather actually write it.
Four, yeah.
Becoming messy. Okay, so this is 6x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 12. This one is 2x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 8. Last one is this one. I'll write down here 4x1 plus 12x2 is equal to 24. Okay, now that we have done that, let's now the next step would be, can somebody tell me what is the next step quickly?
You share the area.
The shading will be starting, right? The 3 points, like wherever it is matching.
We'll have to find out the feasible reason basically. Correct. Now how to do that? If you remember, I told if it is greater than equal to, then anybody? Opposite side of the origin. Opposite side of the origin. If it is less than equal to, then same side of the origin. Yes. Now let's do that, and we will have to do it for all the equations separately. So let's do that. Now let's find out 6x1 plus 2x2. This is the line. What is it greater than equal to? Towards origin is this side, and opposite side origin is this side. Yes. So because it is greater than equal to, the feasible reason for this line would be this side. Do you agree, everybody?
Yes.
Awesome. Now this will be included, this will be included, this will be included, everything will be included like that. Okay, now 2x1 plus 2x2 is more than equal to 8. That is this line. Yes. So again, this is also more than equal to. Now if that is more than equal to, then the feasible reason will be starting from here for this specific line. Forget about everything else, just this line will be this portion. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now similarly 4x1 plus 2x2 is more than equal to 24, which is the last, this one, this line, almost parallel. So the feasible reason for that will be, again, that is also more than equal to, so opposite side of the origin. Origin is this side, so it will be that side, other side. So this side, basically. Only for this line, this becomes the feasible reason. Now looking at these feasible regions, what is the common portion which is feasible for all 3 lines? What do you think? Anybody?
So all the 3 lines should go in, huh?
Sorry, come again.
So all the 3 lines should hit in the common area, right? Then okay.
So basically,
triangle will be formed.
Triangle, are you sure? Think about it a little.
The top section and the bottom section, right? Two sections.
Now let's do one thing. Okay, let's think about it. Do you think this region should be included?
No.
No, because none of it is in having a feasible reason there. Am I right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
I'm excluding that first. Let's talk about this region. What do you think about this?
No,
Why not?
nothing is there.
One is
All
there.
regions are not. Your
Ah,
turn. Yes.
So which region is actually feasible? 4x1 plus 12x2 is equal to 24. Only that region is feasible there. Other two, if you look at it, those are not even touching that. Can you see it?
Right.
So 6x1 plus 2x2 is starting from this portion. So it is not including that portion. Similarly, the 2x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 8 also starting above it. So that is also not including. We need a reason where all three would be satisfying. All three would be feasible. So this portion is also excluded. Let's talk about this reason now. Can you tell me if it is feasible or not?
No.
Why not?
Only one is going through, right? Yeah, one is going through that. No,
Two are there.
two of them are going through. Sorry, two of them are going.
Yes. The feasible reason is there for two lines, but not for another one. Which one? For which one it is not there? 2x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 8. This one that is going above it. Yes. So similarly, let's talk about this region now.
No, that
No.
also only one is there.
Perfect. Only one is there. Other two are not there. Let's talk about this region now.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Also, yes. Let's talk about this region now.
That
Small
one.
portion. Also
Those
not
two.
there because one line is going above it. Other two are fine. One line is going above it, and that reason is not. That is not. I mean, it is not feasible for that. So only remaining portion is this region. Everything above this portion. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Everything above this region is where all this is satisfying. Okay. Now, once we have determined that, I mean, look at this. You have to practice a lot. Don't draw lines like this. Just to have a good understanding of it, I'm doing that. Don't do that. You have more number of questions you practice, it will be clearer to you to figure it out just by looking at it. Okay. Now, let's find out the extreme points. Point number A is this one. Yes. Let me change the color a bit. 1 second. Okay. So this is one point. I would say it is point A. This is extreme point number B. This is extreme point number C, and similarly extreme point number D. Now let's go ahead and have that table that we normally have, A, B, C, and D. And we will have our coordinates, that is x1 and x2. And we have cost value accordingly. Yes. Now, how do we find out the coordinate at point A for x1 and x2? Can somebody tell?
0, 6.
0, 6 is the correct answer. Everybody got it right? Any doubts? We have done this before. Okay. 0 and 6 are the correct answers. So I'll do that. B. B point, let's talk about this. How do we find this out?
1, 3, yeah.
How did you get it?
I mean, based on the alignment. 1, 3.
You were it there in the first discussion?
No, this is the first one I'm attending.
Okay, no problem. So what I told the first time was never do that. I'm telling you, it will be challenging.
So you need to substitute, substitute a value.
Sorry, come again.
Substitute a value.
Substitute value as in, sorry.
No, and how do you get to substitute a value to get that point?
No. I'll tell you the easier way, best possible way is to solve both the equations. So 6x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 12. You have here, and the second one you have here. Why did I take these two only? Can somebody tell?
Two lines are meeting up, right?
Well, those lines are only intersecting each other. Only those, whatever point you want to find out the value, you take the lines those are intersecting and solve those equations. Let me deduct both these equations. How much it becomes? 4x1 is equal to 4, isn't it? So x1 becomes 1.
1.
You put x1 value in any of those two equations, x2 value you get.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes, x2 value you get how much? 2, then that becomes 3. Yes, 3. 3 was the correct
1.
answer. Everybody got it? Any doubts? Okay. Similarly, can you tell for C also? Now, this is where, writing the equation on the graph helps a lot, because otherwise you get confused which line is which equation.
Exactly.
Always have a
You know,
practice of, please.
You did this calculation like by solving these two equations, right? 6x1 plus 2x2 equal 12 equals to 2x1 plus 2x2 equals to 8. So 12 minus 8 equals to 4, right?
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Okay, and then here it is it means you have just subtracting like 6x 6x1
yeah.
minus 2x1, it is being 4x1, and this is
Uh,
getting negative like 2x2 2x2.
Yes, absolutely correct. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yes. For C, can you calculate, please?
See, there are like again the two.
We can put 3 and C, yeah? 3.
3, sorry, come again.
Can we put 3 and C, or how is it?
3.
Into 6 plus.
Okay. How do you solve this? I mean, linear equation solving. Let's do first thing first. Let's multiply 2 in both the sides. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 16. Why did I do that? Can somebody tell me quickly? So that one of those values will get cancelled, right?
Okay.
4x1 gets cancelled, and I have now 8x2 is equal to, this becomes 8. Yes. So x2 becomes 1, isn't it?
Yeah, 1, yeah.
Perfect. Now, similarly, you put x1 value in any of those two equations. Sorry, x2 value in any of those two equations. So now you have 3. x1 value is 3. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, this value you can look at the graph and quickly find out. But what happens, it becomes very difficult when decimal figures comes into picture. Right?
So that scenario will come, huh? The joining will be
Definitely.
Okay.
Depends on the numbers, right? If the numbers are very weird, obviously decimal will come. And in those cases, this will happen. And imagine a situation here, I had taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Had I taken 2, 4, 6, 8, what would have happened? In the middle of the two pointers, that graph would have been coming. You would be imagining, is it the middle? Is it not? So again, always safe to go for solving those linear equations together. So now our x1 becomes 3 and x2 becomes 2. And in the point D, can somebody tell how much is the value?
1 is 0 anyway.
Sorry, come again.
So is it hitting the origin or the?
It's origin. Yes. The x-axis is.
So 1 is 0, right?
1 and 0.
I mean x2 is 0. X2 is 0.
X2 is 0. Yeah, you are right. X1 is
6.
6. You have already calculated in the coordinates. This is the one. Yeah. So for this, you don't need to calculate anything. Whichever is intersecting the x-axis or y-axis, that's very easy to figure out. Now that we have all the coordinate values, let's put the equation that we have for z function, which is 1000 into x1. So this into 1000 plus 800 into x2. 800 into x2. So I'll just simply copy paste the same equation in every place. Find out whichever is lowest, because here the minimization question is there. The lowest point is B, right? So this is the solution. So I will write, so minimum cost is 3400 when x1 was our, what was the units, I think, right? Something like that, days, where unit A is operated for, where unit A is operated for 1 day and
Unit 3 days.
B is operated for. So this is the solution line. That's all. That's all is there in this question. So I'll just quickly put this graph here also. 1 second, so that it will be helpful for others who are referring. So this is how we're going to solve one more question in this. After that, I'm planning to go back to our JET table questions, the probability questions. I'm not sure how much course is there for our midsem, but again, midsem is not important, I think. What is important is our final examination. Something is happening.
So, sir, what he took yesterday is there? No, we don't know, right? Okay.
So sorry, come again.
Whatever he took yesterday, is it there? Or
that's what I'm absolutely confused. What will be there, because he has not clarified really. So yeah, we will see how.
Yesterday's was all but interesting, actually, interesting on that side.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we are done with that, let's quickly go to another question. I don't think he has solved these questions in the class, so this will be interesting to carry out. So this is the question. Let's have Excel on the side. Yes. Okay. I'll do this separately. Question 3. All right. The question reads: solve the below situation to find the optimal state. Solve using LPP model. Very clearly it is saying A1 furniture dealer deals in only tables and chairs. He can invest up to 50,000 only and has storage capacity of 100 pieces. Cost price of a table is 1200 and of chairs 500. He can earn a profit of 180 on the table sale of table and 75 on the sale of one chair. Assuming that he can sell all items he buys, formulate LP problem so that he can maximize profit. Use graphical method to solve this given problem. Now let's summarize the data that is given in the question. Yes, he can invest up to 50,000 only. Is this a constraint? Is this objective? Anytime you're reading a question, please read very carefully. Yeah, please.
Constraint.
This is a constraint. The moment you have a limit in any possible way, that is a constraint. So we will see how do we put in the table, in the small table for summarizing the data. We will see little after a while. And has storage capacity of 100 pieces. Is this a constraint? Is this objective?
Constraint.
Perfect. Everybody got it? Nobody is in doubt, right? That this should be objective.
All good.
Dheeraj, if it is range given, like in between this.
Always constraint. Any kind of limit is constraint only.
Oh.
Yeah. Cost price of a table is 1200 and chairs 500. Is this a constraint? Is this objective?
It's a constraint. It's just a number given.
Coefficients of the constraint equation.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. So again, related to constraint only. Then he can earn a profit of 180 and sell on the sale of table, 75 on the sale of chairs. Constraint or
Objective.
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 Perfect. So we have chair and table. Let's put it like this. Chair and table. We have profit of 180 and 75. Then we have cost of 1200 and 500. Then what is the limit? Can somebody tell for cost? Yes,
50,000.
50,000. So this is the total I'm writing. Now then we have storage
100.
100 is the total that we have. Okay. Now, small table just to have an idea, right? The question is, assuming he can sell all the items he buys, formula to LP problem so that he can maximize the profit. So basically what they're asking is how many chairs, how many tables so that we can maximize our profit. Let's take chairs as x1 number of chairs and x2 number of tables. Yes. Now, if we do that, can somebody tell me how much is the, sorry, how much, what is the objective function?
$180x1 plus $75x2.
Okay, so always say maximize, always say, okay, follow this practice.
Okay.
Maximize z is equal to 180x1, as you said absolutely correctly, plus 75x2 is equal, sorry,
Greater than-
75x2, that's all. Constraint functions, please.
No, we are not writing any greater than equal to.
Sorry, come again.
We are not writing anything like greater than equal to here.
Summing in objective function, there is no greater than equal to, less than equal to. If you're asking that, then I have to go back to the concept only.
No,
Yeah.
maximize. I understood, like it's maximize problem. So maximize means whenever there's a profit, so it's a maximize problem. If it's
Yes,
optimal cost, then it's a minimize problem.
correct,
So we are calculating maximize value. here.
correct,
So
correct.
it won't be like greater than equal to.
Correct.
Directly we are calculating z value. Okay. Got it.
correct. So this is objective function,
Constraint.
okay?
Yeah, for
This is
constraints we are writing greater than equal.
Yes. So in constraints only, the less than equal to, greater than equal to, or not equal to will come. Objective function will always be z is equal to. There is no less than, there is no greater than, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, constraint functions, please.
1200x1 plus 500x2 less than equal to 50,000, and x1 plus x2 less than equal to 100.
Perfect. Did everybody get it? Yes. No.
Okay. So whatever is there under profit, so that will be our objective.
Yeah.
And whatever is under cost and storage, that will be our constraint function.
Yes. In this question. Okay.
Right.
If no doubts, can you please solve this question and tell me the answers? In the meantime, I'll also do. Let me just stop sharing and only share one document, which will be relevant for you. 1 second. Sorry, we have only less than 1 minute. Let's let this call end and we'll join once more. And you guys do it in the meantime and tell me. I'll also do. I posted that in the group. The functions and all I posted there. You can just